privacy reasons, the names of individuals involved in this case have been changed. Stay tuned. One peaceful afternoon in Kansas, a young woman walked into a shopping mall to prepare a gift for her lover, and then disappeared without a trace. No note, no sign of resistance. No one expected that, in less than an hour, her life would end in the most brutal way. Security cameras recorded the final moments. A strange man appeared, and from there began a series of terrifying events that shocked the whole of America. What happened behind the supermarket door? Who was behind this cold and terrifying kidnapping? And how did technology become the key to bringing the culprit to light? The story below is more than just a murder case. It is a wake-up call. A journey full of tears, tension, and naked truths is waiting for you to discover, where every unsolved mystery contains secrets that want to be revealed. Step into the darkness and explore them with us. Don't hesitate to leave a like as an encouragement for us, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell to update the most classic cases. On the afternoon of June 2, 2007, in Overland Park, Kansas, USA, an area known for its peace and safety, Emily Parker, a young girl who had just turned 18, was about to start a new chapter in her life after graduating from high school just a few days earlier. Full of hope and joy, Emily left her house with excitement and went to the Target shopping mall near her house to buy a special gift for her boyfriend to celebrate their 6-month anniversary. The weather was quite nice that day, and Emily, a lively, intelligent girl with outstanding academic achievements, had no idea that this would be a fateful trip, marking her last minutes in everyday life. Around 6:00 p.m., the store's surveillance camera recorded Emily entering Target, walking along the shelves, choosing some items. She was completely normal, showing no signs of anxiety or fear. But what no one expected was that at the same time, a strange man also appeared in the video, silently following her every step. Just 10 minutes after leaving the store, Emily disappeared without a trace. When the appointed time came, and she still hadn't returned home, her family began to worry. No one answered her phone calls. No one responded to her messages, which was extremely unusual for a child who was always punctual, polite, and careful, like Emily. That evening, her parents went to the police to report the incident. What seemed like a normal afternoon, the incident quickly turned into a large-scale manhunt, mobilizing hundreds of police officers, police dogs, helicopters, and even support from the community. No one expected that. Just a few hours after leaving the mall, Emily would fall into the hands of a brutal man. The incident not only devastated the family, but also shocked public opinion across the United States. Overland Park police were quick to respond after Emily's family reported her missing on the evening of June 2, 2007. Because of the short time between when she left home and when she could not be reached, and because Emily was a well-behaved, well-disciplined teenager, investigators did not consider this to be a typical runaway. They immediately considered all possibilities, and their first step was to examine security camera footage from the Target store where Emily was last seen. The video showed that Emily entered the store at approximately 6:40 p.m. and spent a short time shopping in the personal care section. While she was shopping, a man in a dark t-shirt and jeans, who did not appear to be buying anything, followed her at a distance through several aisles. He did not approach her directly, but he was clearly watching her every move. As Emily left the checkout counter, the man quickly headed for the main entrance, leaving the store just seconds away from her. The timing and suspicious behavior of the man caught the investigators' attention. They tentatively identified him as a potential suspect and quickly expanded the search area around the mall. On the morning of June 3, less than 24 hours after receiving the missing person report, police found Emily's car, a black Mazda 3, parked in a parking lot near Grandview Park, about a mile from Target. The car was locked, but showed no signs of forced entry or damage. The doors were closed, the windows were not broken, and there were no blood or suspicious items inside. Strangely, none of Emily's personal belongings, including her wallet, phone, and identification were in the car, but the driver's seat was adjusted to her height, as if she had been the last person to use it. There were no obvious signs of a struggle or resistance inside. The car was completely clean, cold, as if it had been left there on purpose. At this point, the investigation officially went into high alert. The police began to suspect that this was no longer simply a missing persons case, but a possible kidnapping, and time was running out to save Emily. A major turning point in the investigation came on June 5, 2007, when police worked closely with Emily's cell phone company to track the signal. At the time, locating a cell phone through GPS and cell tower signals was still relatively limited, but with the pressure of the case and the urgency of the situation, the carrier provided crucial information about the last signals Emily's phone emitted before losing contact completely. Using data from 3 cell towers, technicians were able to triangulate the device's last known location, a large area near Longview Lake in Missouri, about 12 miles from where Emily went missing. The area included sparse woods, sparse trails, and a large lake, which were not part of Emily's regular route. This anomaly further convinced police that she had been taken there against her will. On the morning of June 6, 2007, a search party was deployed with the help of sniffer dogs, rescue boats, and volunteers. It didn't take long for investigators to discover a horrifying scene in a bush on the shore of a lake. The body of Emily Parker, roughly hidden among the branches of a tree, half naked, with her hands tied behind her back with a belt. Initial examination of the scene revealed signs of being dragged, and the ground around the body had large male shoe prints. Based on the condition of the body, forensic experts determined that Emily had died shortly after her disappearance, and the cause of death was asphyxiation due to strangulation. There were clear signs that the victim had been sexually assaulted before being murdered. Traces at the scene, including DNA samples, fabric fibers, and shoe prints, were meticulously collected to assist in identifying the perpetrator. The discovery of Emily's body, although painful, was the key to opening up a new and urgent line of investigation. The case was no longer a case of disappearance or suspected kidnapping, but a deliberate, cruel, and planned murder. Not only Emily's family, but also the local community and the national media were shocked by the cruelty the victim had suffered. Public opinion began to put great pressure on the authorities to quickly catch the perpetrator and bring him to justice. Based on the security camera footage from the Target store, police began to carefully analyze each frame to determine the identity of the suspicious man who appeared behind Emily. He did not buy anything but simply followed her in the aisles and left the store at about the same time. Notably, he walked faster as he left the door, almost immediately after Emily left. Police then released images extracted from the video to the public through local media channels, hoping that someone would recognize the subject's identity. Within hours, several residents in the Olathe area, located a few miles from the scene, contacted police with information about a man who matched the description. Combined with information from the license plate seen on surveillance video outside the store, the authorities tracked down Daniel T. Moore, 26, of Olathe, Kansas. On the evening of June 6, 2007, the same day Emily's body was discovered, Daniel Moore was arrested by police at his home. At the time of the arrest, he did not resist, appearing surprised but eerily calm. His car, a Ford Taurus, was also impounded for forensic examination, and inside, there were traces matching the DNA sample found on the victim's body. After being questioned, Daniel initially denied all accusations, but faced with undeniable evidence from surveillance cameras, DNA traces, and witness statements, he finally confessed to the entire crime. In a statement, Daniel admitted that he had seen Emily for the first time when she entered Target that afternoon. He claimed that the motive was not due to acquaintance or personal connection with the victim, but was completely random, brutal, and intentional. He said,
"I didn't know who she was. I just saw her. And then I decided to do it."
After following Emily in the store, he waited for her in the parking lot, approaching her as she was loading her car. Under threat of violence, he forced her into the car and drove her to the Longview Lake area. Over the course of approximately 45 minutes to an hour, he raped and then strangled her, then dumped her body near the edge of the lake, deliberately choosing a less frequented area to hide it. The subsequent investigation determined that Daniel Moore had no serious criminal record but did have a history of mental instability and had shown signs of sexual deviance. However, he had lived a normal life in the community, had a wife and children, and had not attracted any special attention before, which further angered and shocked the community. The case was quickly brought to trial, with convincing evidence from many sides. Surveillance cameras, DNA samples, the perpetrator's testimony, and witnesses. Daniel Moore is charged with first-degree murder, kidnapping, rape, and aggravated assault, and faces the harshest sentences in the Kansas legal system. After more than a year of investigation, evidence collection, and legal preparation, on July 23, 2008, Daniel T. Moore, the man who kidnapped, raped, and murdered Emily Parker, officially appeared in court in Topeka, Kansas. During the trial, he unexpectedly pleaded guilty to all charges, including first-degree murder, aggravated kidnapping, and rape. Moore's guilty plea at the beginning of the trial not only saved time for the trial, but also spared the victim's family the pain of having to hear the horrific details of the case in the courtroom. The defendant's attorney said his client understood the seriousness of his crime and waived his right to appeal, accepting the maximum penalty. The judge imposed the most severe sentence under Kansas law:
life in prison without the possibility of parole.
Under current law, this means Daniel Moore will never be freed and will spend the rest of his life behind bars in a maximum security prison. There was no visible sign of remorse or emotion on Moore's face as the sentence was read, while Emily's family broke down in tears and hugged each other in the back row. Emily's father, speaking after the verdict at a press conference, said,
"This pain will never go away. But today at least we know that the person who took our daughter's life will never hurt anyone again."
Emily's mother also thanked the authorities, the public, and the media for their support throughout the search and investigation, stressing that the community's solidarity helped them achieve justice. Emily Parker's tragic death not only devastated her family, but also shocked the entire United States, especially authorities and legislative bodies. The case has pointed out a serious flaw in the system supporting missing persons investigations. The process of accessing location data from a victim's cell phone takes too long due to legal barriers. In Emily's case, the data from her cell phone, the key element in tracking her whereabouts, was only shared with the police after hours of delay due to the requirement of a court order. Had that data been provided sooner, the chance of saving her life could have been greater. From that heartbreaking reality, a new law was urgently proposed and passed in the state of Kansas, then spread to many other states across the United States, allowing authorities to access location data from telecommunications carriers in urgent missing persons cases without a prior court order. This shortens police response times, increasing the likelihood of saving victims in the first golden hours. The law also clearly defines ethical standards and limits access to ensure that personal privacy is not abused. The impact of the law is far-reaching and long-lasting. It not only changed the response mechanism in kidnapping missing cases, but also became a legal model for similar reforms in other states such as Texas, Nebraska, Ohio, and California. Instead of letting their grief overwhelm them, the family has chosen to turn their loss into a driving force for action. Emily's parents founded a non-profit organization with two main goals: supporting families with missing loved ones, from connecting them with authorities and providing legal information to providing psychological support and communication, promoting personal safety education to young people, especially high school and college students, through workshops, advocacy campaigns, and instructional materials. The organization also works with local police departments, schools, and other social organizations to raise public awareness of potential dangers, especially in public settings such as shopping malls, parking lots, and deserted areas. From personal loss, a wave of change was initiated. Emily is gone, but her name lives on, not only as a symbol of lost innocence, but also as an inspiration for powerful, humane, and life-saving social reforms. From a case that seemed to only leave pain for one family, the whole society has awakened, thanks to the practical actions of Emily's parents and the ripple effect. America has changed the way it approaches missing persons cases not only through the law, but also through the connection between technology, government, and compassion. Hundreds of other families, who once fell into despair because they did not know where their children were, now have another chance to hope, a more practical support system to fight to get their loved ones back. Students who once carelessly stepped into the big world without fully understanding the risks are now equipped with more knowledge and survival skills, all thanks to a young girl named Emily Parker and a family that refused to stay silent in the face of injustice. But when the public spotlight gradually dims, when the news is no longer updated every day, and when time passes, will we still remember that girl and the valuable lesson she left for an entire generation? Thank you for joining us today. If you enjoyed this story and want to dive deeper into more intriguing mysteries, be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss an update.